Good morning. All right, today is going to be something a little bit different. I'm actually going to do something in my field of expertise in real estate. It's going to be a little bit different. Um, I'm going to just call this "You bought your house, so now what? What do you do?" First time homeowners, home buyers, and when you get that first house of yours, there's a lot of questions that come to mind. There's a lot of excitement. You get your keys. You find out when your first mortgage payments due. You look at that HUD sheet, or you call it the consumer disclosure now. It shows you what your monthly payment's going to be and then how long it's going to take you to pay it off. You got a 30-year, 20-year, or 15-year mortgage, and then kind of what you're going to end up paying the bank by the end of it, which can be a jolt of excitement still, or it can be a very scary thought. But either way, I wanted to do a video with my expertise in my field and do something a little bit fun and exciting for you all. So, looking around, I thought, what would be a good idea? And what do you do next? What comes to mind? Well, first things first, I will tell you, make sure that all that closing paperwork you have, get that package that the closing company gives you and put it in a safe spot in the new home, whether it be a safe, somewhere where you have access with all your personal files. I will put it in the same place you have your Social Security card, birth certificates, very important documents, old taxes that you've been holding on, and information, stuff like that. Next thing I would say to do, and this is huge, go get a change of locks for every doorknob in the house that would enter or exit the house. I'm not saying you necessarily have to go on the inside of the house and change every doorknob. No, I'm saying the exterior of the home, you want to have it rekeyed, relocked. You don't know who's been having those keys over the years of the previous homeowner. If a cousin, a best friend that now doesn't like them, doesn't know that they've moved on, and you don't want any of that. So that's a huge thing that you want to get fixed right away. From there, there's a lot of things that you can do. But let me give you a few other suggestions that hopefully will help you. Go back and look at your budget. Now, this is very financially responsible because owning a home requires that you had to be some sort of financially responsible before you were ever granted that loan. But sometimes I think we forget when we own something, we're responsible for everything. That means if something breaks, we got to fix it. And that's another expense. So we have to go back and look at our budgets. When you're renting a home or an apartment, most of the time you're not paying to fix things. You call a number, somebody comes, fixes it for you, and you keep moving. Well, that does not any longer happen when you own a home. You are responsible for all the maintenance. So the best thing I could tell you to start with that I've seen work with many of my clients is you get a home inspection done, most of the time during buying a home. Some investors choose to do it, some don't. But for the most part, I would tell any home buyer out there, you're crazy if you don't get a home inspection. This is your chance to get a professional to look at it all the way through and give you ideas of what needs to be fixed, maintained, upgraded, and kind of a time frame in which that should occur. So what I will tell you is take that home inspection. Any repairs that were not performed by the home inspector, go ahead and start making a list with your significant other, your family, and start, seeing what things could you approach and do on your own. Again, and that's more for the handy person. Some of this stuff is pretty easy. A lot of it generally tends to be cosmetic, but anything that could tend to lend to be a problem later on, cause you further issue or big monetary damage, you want to go ahead and start looking at fixing now. Then create that list. Now, something I do for my clients, and I try to do this every year, is at different seasons, there's maintenance lists that you could go check out online. I look for good ones, detailed ones that are more relevant to my area. Look for things that are relevant in your area. If you live in Virginia, if you live in Texas, if you live in California versus Detroit or Maine, it's all going to be different. So you definitely want to go take that list, start doing those things, but then create a general maintenance list that you attack, every month, every weekend, create a list and little by little whittle it down. This will be huge in helping you save money over time. Now, go back to that budget. I want you to put into your budget about 15% of your annual mortgage payments. Now, tally up your mortgage payments. If it's $1,000 a month, that means it's $12,000 a year. So then take 15% of the $12,000 and then apply that into your savings. So in case something happens with the house, AC goes out, you got a plumbing issue, somebody stopped up the toilet, you are going to be able to do that without causing your family financial hardship or stressing out. You know, hopefully, if as another suggestion, if you're thinking about this, look at into home warranties. There's so many different companies. Now, again, some are good, some are bad. I personally have one for my own home. I use Old Republic Home Warranty, which has been around, I think, 90 years. They used to be an insurance company. I still think they are. They're a title insurance company in this business. So they're really reliable. I've used them now for 2 years on this home. My previous home, I did not have one, and I paid the price for it. So it goes to show you through experience, I'm giving you something on a personal level that I think will work very well for you. And kind of the last thing that I would tell you to do that will be helpful is go ahead and also make a list of priorities for you and your family as to what you're going to do to the home as far as making it your own. Are you going to paint first? Are you going to upgrade that kitchen, that bathroom? And then start looking at what things could you do to keep costs low, and then look at your realtor or somebody in your area, somebody that a good contractor, have them come over, get some estimates done for you, get a few estimates, and see what those costs are going to be, and then start making that list and prioritize it. Go back to your budget and start seeing where you can fit it in. Don't feel like you have to rush into getting everything done. This is more key when you own a home. Go enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that you have, what many people call the American dream, and I believe the same thing, is you own your own property. You own your own piece of land. You get to enjoy this with your family. You get to establish some financial stability into your life, because if you treat a home right, it could actually become not only just a home, but what I would like to call like a low interest savings account. This is for the financially savvy. If you treat it right and you make payments, not paying all that interest, I will give you this one last tip. So that you kind of catch on what I'm talking about. There's even at low interest rates of today, you might be able to get a 3.85, 4.25. These are traditionally low interest rates, but with anything, you're paying predominantly interest up front on the beginning of that loan. So when you're making that $1,000 a month payment, probably $600 of that is going to your interest. Now, again, you get to write off interest and taxes depending on the state that you're in, which helps you, on your tax returns, with the IRS every year. But something that will help save you a bunch of money, I call it throwaway money, because that's what it is when it comes down to interest, is you're throwing it away and giving it to the bank just for giving you that loan. Take your monthly payment. Again, let's use a different example. Let's use $1,200. If you make one additional payment yearly, now chunk it up if you have to. If that means an extra $100 on your monthly mortgage payment's more affordable, or one time a year you get that bonus and you pay $1,200 to it, you will save yourself, depending on the loan and the loan structure, 5 to 7 years, approximately, of those payments, and depending on the interest, could be thousands and thousands of dollars. So this is something that I teach everybody to do, because again, that money saved is money earned for you and your family and stuff that you can look forward to doing, like taking vacations or upgrading the house the way you want to, or that new car, or maybe building that emergency fund. So these are some ideas that I have for you as far as what to do once you bought a home. Now, again, there's many other ideas I'd love to share with you. Don't want to make this video too long. Click into the bottom, like it, comment it, share it. Get this out to other people. I think a lot of people could benefit from this, but let's have a good conversation on it as well, because, there are other things we can add to this, and maybe, constructively other homeowners can tie into this, give it out to others, and let them see other things that they ran into in the course of that. Maybe they didn't have the best of realtors, or they didn't have the most knowledgeable realtors, but it doesn't matter. Now they own that home. It's theirs. It's a sense of pride. So I'm trying to give back to everybody out there that maybe necessarily doesn't quite know or doesn't quite remember. Either which way, that's fine. But will help them, in owning this home, taking pride in it, and enjoying it over the years, and not feeling like it's such a burden or stress, with the changes that you make, because you're going from renting to owning. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Comment again below. I enjoyed the conversation with everybody, and hopefully this will help you out in some way. And look forward to talking to you again soon.